may very well be Ashbourne, the Shadow Monarch, or Jinwoo. As the conversation continues, Raken takes in his surroundings, noting the overwhelming stench of decaying ants. He muses that if she were here to witness this sight, she would have been driven into a frenzy. Unbothered, Scylla dismisses any concerns, reaffirming that the hunt will proceed as scheduled and that nothing has changed. Raken acknowledges this without further protest. Scylla then conjures a portal, preparing to leave. Before stepping through, Raken comments that he senses the presence of one of them here. Scylla, intrigued, asks if he is certain that it is truly in South Korea. Raken then questions whether they should eliminate the target before departing, but Scylla refuses, stating that they should leave it in that person's hands. Raken, unimpressed, accuses Scylla of avoiding involvement. Scylla remains indifferent, remarking that Raken is free to interpret his decision however he pleases. With that, he vanishes through the portal. Watching him go, Raken scoffs, calling him a coward. He glances at the unconscious hunters, contemplating whether to take further action, but ultimately decides against making the situation more troublesome. With a slash, he opens his own portal and departs, leaving the scene behind. A large crowd of cameramen frantically captures photographs as Jinwoo steps forward, dressed in a sharp suit with a flower in his hand. Ever since the Jeju Island raid concluded, it has remained the sole topic of conversation across the nation. Screens are flooded with comments discussing Jinwoo's remarkable feat in clearing Jeju Island. During the raid, the public witnessed Jinwoo in action for the first time since his ascent to S rank, marking his official debut on Jeju's battlefield. Observers speculate whether he should be classified as a national-level hunter, though opinions remain divided. Some hail his prowess, while others question the extent of his strength and wonder how he became so powerful. With the entire country deeply invested in the raid's outcome, discussions about Jinwoo dominate public discourse. Though his actions receive widespread praise, he is not without criticism. Many argue that the loss of lives could have been reduced had he joined the raid earlier. While countless voices express unwavering support for him, few attempt to counter the criticisms leveled against him. Jinwoo solemnly places the flower at Byunggu's memorial, acknowledging the grim reality that casualties were unavoidable. His gaze lingers on the memorial, where mourners shed quiet tears. After a brief moment of reflection, he turns away and departs. As he passes Yunho, he leans in and whispers that he once firmly believed no single hero could end a war alone, yet recent events have begun to challenge that notion. He urges Jinwoo to stand tall, assuring him that he was the one who finally put an end to this tragedy. Overcome with emotion, Yunho thanks him, his voice trembling as tears spill from his eyes. Nearby, Miss Cha catches sight of Jinwoo. As their eyes meet, a sudden blush spreads across her cheeks, and she quickly averts her gaze. Jinwoo, perplexed by her reaction, glances at her before shifting his attention back to the memorial. A total of 4,801 hunters participated in the 5th Jeju Island raid, accompanied by 727 awakened civilians called to arms. The battle claimed the lives of 64 awakened individuals and 32 civilians. Although the death toll remained grim, this final assault resulted in significantly fewer casualties than any of the previous attempts. Later, Jinwoo sits at a table with Gun-hee, who inquires whether he truly intends to establish his own guild. He reveals that certified S-rank hunters are exempt from acquiring a guildmaster's license. All Jinwoo needs to do is make a simple phone call to the association, and they will handle the rest. Jinwoo acknowledges this and silently resolves to investigate what benefits he can leverage as an S-rank hunter. Gun-hee then questions whether Jinwoo had cast some kind of barrier over Jeju Island. Jinwoo, taken aback, expresses his confusion. Gun-hee elaborates that hunters and soldiers had been dispatched to clear the island and collect essence stones, but inexplicably, all of them lost consciousness. Even the A-rank and B-rank hunters, along with members of the esteemed Night Guild, were rendered unconscious. He wonders if Jinwoo had unknowingly set up a barrier. Jinwoo, still puzzled, denies any involvement but understands the implications. Curious, he asks what the affected hunters and soldiers reported. Gun-hee informs him that they recall nothing from the moments leading up to their collapse, leaving them uncertain as to whether they were subjected to a magic spell or some unknown force. Jinwoo considers whether this phenomenon might have been a trap left behind by the ants. Just then, one of Gun-hee's guards approaches and quietly delivers a message. Gun-hee rises from his seat, explaining that his guest has arrived earlier than expected. He expresses his gratitude for Jinwoo's time before taking his leave. Jinwoo dismisses the thanks and contemplates returning home as well.